The accessory lead is located on the right side of the bike. This is the left side of the bike if you're looking dead onto it. It's the same side with the brake lever on it. It's behind the headlight shroud. You don't have to remove the headlight shroud to get to it. I just did this so I could show you where it's at. It's inside of this rubber case along with all of the other connectors. There's one connector that has a black and green plug on the end of it. This is to stop like dust and water and things like that from getting into it. All you have to do, unplug that. You have to get a wiring harness for it if you don't want to cut wires, and I highly suggest that you do not cut wires and you buy this $15 harness at CRFs only. I'll put it in the description below. You can also make your own. This is actually an HX60 female 2-pin connector, and those will run you about $3. The accessory lead itself puts out 12 volts up to 10 amps, and it turns on and off with the key, which is pretty nice. But let's get into the actual reason for this video, and that is LED lights. The reason that I want to slowly transition this bike over to all LED is for a couple of reasons. First, it increases my visibility to other cars on the road at day and at night. Second, it lowers the amount of power that I'm actually drawing from the bike, and this lets me add more things elsewhere, probably like heated grips or something like that. Okay, probably not. It's probably just going to be more LEDs. Third, and this was kind of a big one because I've only had this bike for like 2 months and my brake light was already burned out, but I wanted reliability, and these LEDs, they're cheap, they're efficient, and they're gonna last a very long time, so hopefully I will never have to replace another one for as long as I have this bike. In order to do this, you really don't need all that much. It's gonna sound like a lot of information, but really you're only buying 6 bulbs and 1 TST Industries Relay. So the 2 front turn signals as well as the rear brake light is actually the same bulb. They're both dual filament bulbs. The front turn signals are running lights and the rear brake light also has a running light. The 2 rear turn signals are a single filament bulb and they're strictly just turn signals. I bought 2 red for the brake light because I couldn't find one at a time, and I also bought 4 yellow. 2 of these were dual filament, 2 of them were single filament. And the TST Industries Relay, I'll put the link in the description for all of this. But the relay is needed because the LED lights don't draw enough power and they'll actually hyper flash, and the relay just stops the hyper flashing and keeps them constant and puts them back at the normal stock flashing setting. The teardown and install of all this stuff is pretty quick and painless. TST Industries actually has a really good video on installing their relay, and I'm going to link that in the description below. As far as the lights go, I'm going to go ahead and start with the turn signals. So for the turn signals, all you'll need is a Phillips head screwdriver. There is just 1 screw at the bottom of the turn signal, and this is the same for every single one of them. You just have to unscrew that, lift the plastic, and it lifts up from the right. You can't just pull it all off at once. It lifts up from the right, and then you can take it off. To get the bulb out, it's kind of tricky. You have to press it in, and as you're pressing it in, you have to twist it counterclockwise or to the left, and then you can pull it out. This front one is a dual filament bulb. When you're putting the LED back in, it's the complete opposite. You have to push it in and then twist clockwise or to the right as you're pushing it in. Make sure it's the dual filament LED bulb. It really only goes in one way, so if you're having trouble putting it in one direction, then flip it over and try and do it another direction. To get the plastic back onto it, you have to seat the left side of the turn signal before you can push it all the way in and seat the rest of it to put in the screw. Again, this goes for all of the other turn signals. Obviously, the one on the right side is going to be opposite, so you'll have to seat the right side and then follow it down to the left side before you can put the screw back in. Moving on to the brake light, this is a very easy thing to do. All you need is an Allen wrench, and you just need to remove the 4 luggage rack bolts on the back of the bike. After you do that, you can remove the seat of the bike. And then the very last piece of plastic, you do this by unclipping the front 2 pieces of plastic from the rear, and then the rear just lifts right off. Once you expose the light bulb, All you have to do is twist it counterclockwise to get it loose, pull it back, and there's the bulb. To replace it, it's the same way as the turn signals. You push it in, twist counterclockwise. The brake light is a dual filament. Again, it only goes in one way. If you have trouble getting in one way, try another. Once you're finished with this, turn the bike on and make sure the running light works as well as the brake light. And that's it. The final outcome of this, as you can see, is the LEDs were brighter overall, both the running light and the turn signals and brake lights. This is a comparison of the front turn signals. The one on the right is just the running light LED. The one on the left is the incandescent bulb. Here is a shot of the brake light with the flashers on, and this is all incandescent bulbs. Now compare this to the shot of the brake light with the LED and both LED turn signals. Quite a bit brighter, much more visible. So this definitely is not the cheapest way I could go. The Amazon LEDs would probably be a cheaper way to go, but you'd only save a couple of bucks. This is, in my opinion, the easiest way to go because the bulbs are just plug and play and there's not a whole lot of maintenance required other than one little screw that you take out of the bottom of each turn signal. And plus the TST Industries Relay, you're going to have to purchase anyways, no matter what LED setup you go with. Well, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you'd like to see, and let me know how I'm doing.